On the eastern side of the Mississippi River, just outside of St. Paul, there is a sacred Native American cave called Wakan Tipi. As European settlers arrived in Minnesota and began to urbanize the area, the sanctuary was heavily neglected and polluted. Due to the destruction of this site, cleanup projects have been put in place by locals as well as members of the Native American community to try and return the surrounding ecosystem to a safer level. Along with these restoration projects is a team of student researchers from the University of St. Thomas that have been going into the sanctuary to take water and soil samples. The main goal of this team is to make sure the site continues to be safe for humans, wildlife, and their ecosystems. Now into the science behind this project. The research team split the data collection into three main categories: heavy metals, hydrology, and hydrocarbons. Heavy metals are contaminants found in water that can be toxic to humans and wildlife, such as lead, arsenic, and mercury. The team wants to test if the amount of heavy metals present in the sanctuary are higher than the regulatory limits. To gather samples, the team collects soil from the various ponds in the sanctuary and places it in a Ziploc bag to be brought back to the lab. In the lab, they scoop out the soil into a dish and place it in an oven to remove any moisture. When the samples are dry, they are placed into clear plastic wrap and run through an X-ray machine. The X-ray machine shines beams of light through the sample to show how much heavy metals are in the soil. With hydrology, the team is looking at changes in the water levels around the site and if the conductivity of the water has increased from de-icing salts used on roads in the winter.
So every 30 minutes, when these loggers are in the water, this one will tell us the conductivity of the water, and this one will tell us the elevation of the water level.
So here we're just collecting water samples to bring back to the lab to do chloride testing.
In the lab, the team uses a chloride testing kit to show how much salt in the water is made of sodium chloride, which is the same salt you would find on the road during the wintertime. Sodium chloride salts are harmful to the environment in large amounts, so it is important to find out how much sodium chloride is at the sanctuary to prepare for winter road salt contamination. Lastly, the team is looking at hydrocarbon and PFAS contamination. Hydrocarbons come from fuels such as oil and gasoline, and PFAS are chemicals made by humans for household and industrial uses. To gather samples, the team collects water from leaking groundwater sources. In the lab, they use a machine to separate the soil from the water before filtering the water samples. Then, they use a technique that separates the substance they are looking for from the water. To look at hydrocarbons, they run the sample through a machine that looks at the gas molecules to see what is present in the sample. And to analyze PFAS, they run the sample through a similar machine that looks at the liquid molecules in the water to see what chemicals are present in that sample. With this project, the student researchers hope that their quick analysis of both soil and water at the sanctuary will serve as a foundation and comparison for more data collection in the future.